I'm going to tell you guys a story. This story is based on a life that's not easy. I know because I've lived it. Everyone thinks it's grand to run away. Everyone thinks it's grand, to disobey our parents. To, just go out there in the world and, at a young age we think we know it all when we don't. Some choices in life, when you make it sticks with you. Sometimes the choices we make can affect others around us and affect us personally. Just when we think when there's no hope, it's easy to see from an outside point of view. The people around us go, "Oh, your life ain't that bad." Well, I'm one of the few people that will say, I know what you're going through. Depending on the person, I won't know what you're going through. If you're... I'm one of the few people that have been to a mental home. Multiple, at that. And sometimes even to the same one twice. I didn't like it. But it's what I needed to do to survive. It helped me see the bigger picture. Later on, I realized I didn't need the medication that they were giving me, and it was all in my head. But for some of us, who feel like the world's out to get us, it's not. I promise you. Whatever depression anyone is going through, just know it'll pass. It will take time. I'm not saying that, it'll be easy. Because it won't. It's going to be hard. But the story I'm about to tell is from when I was a young age. My life has always been a mess. My family knows it's true. I've always managed to, pardon my French, fuck up every opportunity I ever had. I'm not happy with the choices I've made in my life. Certain choices. When I was in 1st and 2nd grade, I used to hurt a lot of people. I used to flip tables. I was a scrawny little kid. If you don't believe this story, then that's fine, but what I'm saying is true. I used to flip tables. I used to grab computer monitors, throw them halfway across the room. I'm not proud of it, but it haunts me to this day. And sometimes the only thing I can do to help move past it for right then and that point when I'm feeling down is I talk about it. Sometimes the people we need to talk to is our friends and family. Now, I don't know what you guys are going through right now, but I have a friend out there who needs to listen to this. When I lived with my mom, I ran away. I didn't like the way she was treating me. But then again, it's not easy for a single parent to raise their child. So, I was part of Lutheran Community Services. I was a part of Service Alternatives. I was part of the Three Rivers Wraparound. And I was even through the Lord's program when they did the children's inpatient program. There's some scary stuff I have seen in my life that no child should ever see. And so what happened was after I went through all of that, I was arrested multiple times. I went to juvie at an early age, and I was so small for my age. I was stuck in the women's section, the girls section. I'm. The thought of being behind closed walls at a younger age was scary. But little did I know that was going to be the beginning of my life. As I got older, my anger, my depression, everything else just got worse. It came to where I was going to mental homes. I went to Child Study Treatment Center. I went to Niche over in Lewiston, Idaho. Child Study Treatment Center is all the way over in Lakewood, Washington. It's a mental home for people, and they think it's okay that, they have a right to throw people in a safe room that's not even padded. It's a room where they lock you inside. And it's not fun. Sometimes when they restrain you, it takes 2 people sometimes to restrain a child, sometimes even 3. And when that happens, they sometimes just don't even give a crap about you and don't even bother to ask you if you're all right after they lock the door. I was thrown into a safe room once. My elbow got chipped. Literally, a piece of bone got chipped. No one believed I was having problems with my arm. And then they took an x-ray and saw that my elbow got chipped. And the person that threw me in that safe room, when I confronted them saying, "You're the reason why my elbow hurts," they said, "Hey, I just gotta make sure you don't hurt the other kids. It's not my fault that I had to restrain you. It's your own stupid fault." That's what they said to me. Some people, when you go to the treatment homes, some of them do care. Some of them try and stop you because they care. They want to see you progress. Some don't. Some want to see you fail. Not everyone is like that. But then when it comes down to where they cannot control you, and you're in the safe room, they will stick a needle in you. They treat you. You have no rights as a mental patient. None. Your rights end where you sign a piece of paper. And sometimes, when the judge in the court orders it, you don't get no choice. To be honest, I would rather have been in juvie than be in a treatment home ever in my life. Why? Because in juvie, they don't threaten to stick you with a needle. No, they'll just stick you in a restraining chair and pepper spray your eyes. Why not, right? And it burns like a bitch. But you know what? It's better than getting restrained, tossed into a non-padded room. I wear different colors of clothing. But my favorite color is black because of everything I've seen and everything I've lived through. I've been through the foster homes. I know it's not easy. My life has been a mess, one after the other. Some of it was my choosing, some of it wasn't. I had someone come by my mom's apartment one time because I needed a break from my mom. And they told me one thing. They said, "If you get in this car, you are not coming back here. The choice is yours. Stay with your mom, or you get in the car and you don't come back." I told them I only wanted to be away for 3 days. I said, I need a weekend to myself. They cared. I found out later on in life they do care. But at that point in time, as I was growing older, it seemed like they did not. I chose to walk away from my mom. Dealing with this kind of life that I have lived and that others have lived, it's not easy. We don't like it. Some of us are proud that we've turned out the way we have. And just to get anywhere in life. One time, when I was at this place called Niche, it's in Lewiston, Idaho, it's a real place. It's called Northwest Children's Home. I'd gotten to phase 3. And you know what? Because of some outburst, this was a few days after I got it. A phase 3, so this is how it works when you're at Northwest Children's Home. You got phase 1, which means you cannot leave campus. Phase 2, you can go off campus. But as the phases get higher, you get chosen for more things. Phase 3, I was phase 3 for about 3 days. I had an incident. And the counselor at the point in time decided to take my phase 3 away. She didn't know me. She just, she knew from what she counseled, or consuled, however you say it, out of me, and what she read from my paperwork. But they took it away, and I was back down to a phase 2. I was so upset, and I had so many people who agreed with me. It was wrong for that. As I was getting older, I moved in with my grandparents. I was getting so angry, so depressed. One day, without even thinking, I was 17 years old. I told my grandfather something I wish I could take back to this day. Go ahead. Shove me, hit me, I don't care. A man who has raised me since I was 3 years old. A man who brought me into his home and raised me as his own. Things I have done and the things I've said, I am not proud of. And it hurts. It hurts when my friends and my family start doing stupid things. I'm not on any medication because I still see a counselor. The best thing I can do is talk to people. My grandfather is a wonderful man. And in some ways he's not my grandfather, in some ways he's my father. Yet I have a father who is all the way over in Missouri. And you know what? What hurts is I'm not full of hatred. I have love, more love than anything. And what's even worse is he sent me a text and I felt like shit. Because you know what? I was becoming something that I'm not meant to become. I was becoming harsh, hurtful, and was about ready to hurt others because of the way I was hurt by him. I have hurt my loved ones. I have done things that you guys would call me an abusive person. Some people who don't understand what it's like in the life of an ADHD, Asperger's, depression. It's not easy being us. It's not. And what hurts is because of my stupid decisions, I chose to go back and I chose to start leading a life that I was not meant to live. I was heading down some dark paths. And now, because of that, I lost an organ. I've lost my appendix because of my choices of life. Will I ever be the same? No. Have I understand my decisions in life have caused me pain? Yes. It will take me years upon years to accept my sins. I was always blaming others for my mistakes. I was always blaming others for my pain, for my anger. I wasn't upset with anyone but myself. And by the time it was too late, I didn't see nothing. Some people say when they get a life change, people want to believe that there could be another life. I don't believe that. I don't believe in heaven. Why? Because of my choices that I made, there was no God sitting beside me. There was no devil telling me, go on, keep on living life. It was common sense that saved my ass. And now, I'm sharing these things with the world. Not because I want to, but because I feel I am needed to. To my loved ones out there, friends, family, in this world that we live in, there's going to be dark days. We cannot live blindly. When someone needs help, you help them. They may not always show it. Live and let go. Forgive, but don't forget. You can't ever forget something. I said some harsh things to my father. I've done some harsh things in my life. I will never forget them. There's fights in my life I will never forget. They're sunk in my head. I was a firm Christian believer. Now, I just know that there's only one thing on this earth. There cannot be peace without conflict. And without conflict, there cannot be peace. We live in a world where hatred, discrimination, of love is in the world too. Love, lust, but what is the most important thing? What makes a better man? What makes a better woman? Do we all seriously need to fight? We might as well just go back to the ancient Rome. Stick two freaking people in an arena with swords or guns or whatever and say, hey, here, kill the fuck out of each other while we all sit here and watch and laugh our asses off. Because that's what happens in most people. People like me. We are conflicted with two beings. We're not multi-personalitied, nothing. It's just we are two beings. There was an ancient wise tale of two wolves in all of us. Both are very hungry. One is good, one is bad. What do we feed the most is who we are. Demons are just our frickin' imagination. Demons aren't real. But then again, our actions become demons because they haunt us for the rest of our life. If I was to go down the street killing some idiot bastard, I would go to jail. I'd be tried. And then what? What, I can get away with freaking saying I'm insane? I didn't know what the hell I was doing? Oh, sure. Go ahead and I'll plead this insanity plea. But for what reason? I'd rather be in prison than have to be behind a freaking door shut all the goddamn time. And no recreational, nothing. Always having to go from my room to the counselor's office, then from the counselor's office to my room, and then if I frickin' wig out between then and there, I get frickin' thrown into a padded room. Sure, that makes perfect sense. More walls. More doors. We all have a path to choose. I guess the real nature of this video is our choices define who we are. Our actions define who we are. There is no, well, I want to do this because I want to do that. You know, there is no good that comes out of anything, out of negative choices we make. There is no good that comes out of it. The only good that came out of my negative decisions is I've seen the world for what it is. It's a dark, cruel place. When I was young, I ran off from my mom. Police picked me up. I went over to this place called Lord's multiple times because of my behaviors. This is back when they had the Children's Inpatient Program. They stuck you with a needle. They gave you a choice of this little freaking pill that you could chew up and it tastes like bananas, but it tasted like shit. They said it tasted like bananas. It really tasted like shit. And you know what? If you refused it, bye-bye pill. Here comes a big-ass gauge needle. Sometimes, they would have to poke me twice. And my limbs, my ass, would become sore for 2 months. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't even freaking raise my arm. I had no muscle on me when I was little. Now, where we go from here in this life, where you guys make your decisions in life, I leave up to you. I just share this with you, hoping and praying to God you guys will make a better choice. You guys and gals will make a better choice. It hurts to see people do the stupidest things. It hurts so much because it's not. It's a reminder of what I've done. And I'm pretty sure there are other people out there in the world who see the reminder. Not just myself, but others. And it hurts. Knowing we could have made better choices for ourselves. I don't take no meds. Why? Because I don't think about it daily. Not saying it's not there, but I try not to think about it daily. Because I'd rather try and live life. I am on my own. I'm in my nice little apartment. I'm wanting to get a gun. I've changed my ways. I want to get a gun. I want to go hunting. I would like to go hunting, supply my own food, get off of welfare, and start living life. Why? Because I've seen the dark side of things from an autistic point of view, from a mental point of view. I would rather see it. Through what life has to offer. My dark days are behind me. There are days where my past doesn't stay put. There are days when I just need to freaking just be alone. You know? I just need to be by myself. And then there are some times where, I'm stuck in this apartment and I'm like, well, it's freaking bored and, I've got nothing else to do. So I go away and hang out with my friends. But some friends of mine tonight have made some poor choices. Some poor ones that made me worried and made me see many things. And made me remember what it's like to be like no one understands you. No one's been there. No one's understanding what you're going through. But I have. For some of you, I have been there. I have done that. I do understand. And one of these days, I will help as many people as I can. I may not be able to correct my past. I may not be able to go traveling back in time and fix every little detail, because that's impossible. All I can do is live for the moment and try and help other people and try and just make every day count. Life is too short to be throwing your life away. Life's too short. My grandfather had to bury his dog. A loving dog. This dog would have followed him to the ends of the earth. But this dog had to be put down because his life was given away. He couldn't hardly get up today. They had to put him down. And to be all honest, I'm worried for my grandfather. He was hard on me because he loved me. And I love him so much. He does not know how much I love him, but so bad, you know. I love my father very much. But if I had to choose between two names, I would rather keep my father's last name, but try and, if I ever could, raise a family the way my grandfather raised me and try and teach them and raise them the way he raised me. I didn't live in the city all my life. I lived in and out of the city, but I mainly lived out in the country because my grandfather wanted me to be safe. There is no such thing as sins of the father. It's only a matter of the sins of our actions. Consequences come in good or bad. As I make this video come to a close, please comment down below. Don't throw your lives away just because you guys cannot stand life. What doesn't kill us does, in fact, make us stronger. I do believe that there is something out there that binds us all together. I do believe that God is living in each and every one of us. There is a God that lives in each and every one of us. I'm not saying the Lord, the God, because I don't know. But whatever made us on this earth, it says according to the Christian Bible, we are made the image of God. He made us like Him. It says in the Bible that this so-called God has two hands, a right and a left, has a back, He has a face, and if He would have shown His face, I don't know. Other than He'd probably kill people, I don't know. all I'm saying here is, instead of looking at everyone like, oh my gosh, that person looks deformed, or this is for the people who think, well, I'm normal. I don't have these disabilities. Don't see us as people with disabilities. See us as people who cannot be understood on the spot, that you have to get to know us to understand us. I've done many and terrible things, and I just ask that everyone stop hating. Just stop all the hatred, the poison. What poisons the world is our anger and hatred for one another. If the government could find a way to coexist with other governments, you know what? The whole world would be ran differently. But we don't really go by what you call coexisting. Because that's fantasy. The world is rough. There will always be rough days that will get worse and worse before it gets better. But when it does get better, just see the beauty and no longer having to be like so down, so angry, or so hatred for one another. Because technically, in my opinion, anger and hatred is the same thing as a mental disability. There is nothing normal about everyone. We all have disabilities. We all have something wrong with us. Whether you've been to freaking mental homes or not, I don't care. Whether you've been through the foster homes, I don't care. We all have something. We all have a disability. Time to live life with a smile. Why can't we all just be happy as can be with each other? What, because you think some person is crazy, they're going to accept it? Yeah, sure, live in denial. Go ahead, it suits everyone. But then, living in denial can always be a better thing than living in the truth. Because then that means you don't have to wake up every morning and look in the mirror and be like, oh man, I'm dealing with the truth here. Instead, you're going to be walking up in front of the mirror, saying, oh gee, it's another day I can lie to myself and lie to the world. But if you live in the truth, you can be happy by the end of the day, knowing you're not living in denial. People who live in denial are always miserable by the end of the day. But with those who are satisfied, who are living in the truth, know that, well, just another day. I think I'm going to go out, have lunch with my wife or girlfriend or my parents, and I'm going to go out and enjoy it. I read something once, and it said, we do not control how we feel, only how we choose to handle those feelings. Well, I didn't want to feel like this. I didn't choose to feel like this. But I chose how to handle it. and explaining to you guys that no one is perfect. No one is normal. We all have disabilities. We all have something in common. There is dark days that will be there for just about almost everyone. And then there will be days for some people who don't have it. That will be like, oh, well, today's the sun shining. I'm in a great mood. I'm going to go and do whatever the heck I want because I'm in a great mood. And as long as it is something that I can live with, I'm good. I'll go for it. So, don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't feel angry with someone else. Don't blame other people for your problems. Some of my friends and family who will see this will tell me, practice what you preach. I'm trying to do that. It's hard. Sometimes it's easier to say it than it is for it to be done. This is Saw signing off. I just want you guys to know that it's been good to share this with the world, and I hope that just almost everyone sees it. Well, now see it because I'm not showing you my face, but this is more of a recording type deal that everyone needs to listen to, especially you, my good friend, who is like a little sister to me.